Hi, it's me, Ingrid of P, and we're going to be making this honey and soy sauce beef with chili pak choy and sesame seeds, and it's like an udon pasta dish. So let's put this there. Okay, and well, here are the ingredients. I've already taken off the skin of the yellow onion. Here we have some honey. We've got 2 carrots, a pak choy, a spring onion, 3 little garlics, a ginger, chili, this sesame seeds, udon, soy sauce, soy sauce, and then we have the meat in the refrigerator. So I'm going to see if I can actually put the phone like this. This may not be very safe, but it doesn't seem to be tipping over this way, so great. This seems much more professional, but then you'll see how bad my cutting skills are, so not great, but okay. First we're going to do this, the carrots, and it doesn't need to be, I don't need to take away the skin, so that's great. I don't know like how big I'm supposed to make these pieces. They don't really explain. And then we're going to also deal with the onion, and we're cooking this pot with salt. So let's see how this is going to turn out though, because so there, we put the salt in. Okay. I couldn't do this on in my old apartment because the fan on top of like here wasn't horizontal, so I couldn't put my phone there. I don't know if this is going to be full of smoke though, so we'll see how that goes. Now during this time we're going to be dealing with this, and I might need to put the fan on, so I don't know how that's going to work out for you guys, but I'll move you guys if I need to, I guess. At the moment we're just going to be cutting the carrots into little round thingies, and discussing life. I did not sleep well last night at all, so I took a nap, which was like a 3-hour nap, and now I'm really, really tired. I bought my plane tickets for first Sweden to Edinburgh. Oh, this piece of carrot is not good. Sweden to Edinburgh, and then I've bought the one from France to Sweden, but I haven't done the middle trip, which is going to be which will be Edinburgh to France, and that's because once again my family can't decide on when I should come. My brother is going to be volunteering for the Olympic Games, and it's kind of him that I'm most interested in seeing, unfortunately. I don't care as much about seeing my parents, and definitely not seeing my grandfather, but I will have to see my grandfather anyway. I think, it might be the last time I see him, and to be honest, I don't want to, that makes me sad. Even if I hate being around him, it makes me sad, so I really want to. Okay, I don't know if these should be cut into even smaller pieces, but we're leaving this for now. And we're doing the onion first. Okay, so the water is, we're going to wait until the water is boiled, so we're going to do all this during that time. I don't know how to cut an onion, so I always like just try to figure it out. As people always tell me to figure it out. But really, you know, it's not like it's easy if you've never really been taught how to do it before. But it's good when somebody else shows you, and then that you can also test it. You know, sometimes people just show you and then they just leave you be, and that's great. I don't like being told what to do, but at the same time, I'm like, please tell me what to do. Okay, so what's good with onion, with yellow onion, is that you can basically just like let it, just put it into different pieces like that, and there's no real, you don't need to make it like into perfect pieces, just like, yes, I need a sharper knife. I mean, I just moved and there are like 10,000 things I need to get, basically. I need to buy a lot of things. And you know, I'm planning on getting a lot of stuff on Temu because things are expensive, man, you know, and I don't really want to have to buy cheap stuff, but you know, am I a professional cook? No, in no way am I a professional cook. I mean, look at this mess. I am in no way in charge of this thing. So yeah, I know that this stresses people out. The fact that I am so nonchalant about my health, I guess. But, you know, my parents never cooked food. So here I am, you know, figuring out life at my age. There we go. Okay, that was that. That's pretty good slices of onion. We still have a lot more to go though. Maybe it's the other way around I should do it. I don't know. But then, yeah, I don't know, this just feels better, but I don't think that it's the right way to do things. Maybe I'm doing it too thin or too thick or something. Okay. My mom did try to teach me how to use a knife back when I was small, but do you think that I remember that? I mean, she said, like, put your fingers in, and I don't even know how to do that, you know? I'm starting to think that a lot of my problems in life have to do with being basically just clumsy from birth. I've been looking into, like, how dyspraxia, which is basically being clumsy from birth, you know, how that can be linked to autism and such like that. I'm not saying that all autistics are clumsy. I'm just saying that these things often go together, you know, like I am pretty uncoordinated and I'm pretty flexible, but I'm pretty uncoordinated, and I'm pretty good at keeping my balance and that kind of thing. Oh, my eyes are starting to run. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, well, good, I can start crying. Okay, I'm crying because of these onions. Okay, let me wash my hands 2 seconds. Maybe wash my... Okay. Ugh, that was that. So that was the onions. What's the next step? There are a lot of things to do. We need to do the garlic. I love how they want you to like cut all the vegetables at the same time. Like, I would need like 10,000 10,000 more of these. Okay, let me get my smaller knife for the garlic. How many garlics do they want? This is a lot of garlic. Or not a lot, but wait, there's 2, 3 that I've already peeled. Okay. Where are we? Okay, it doesn't say how much, so let's put it all in, I guess. I do wish I had a garlic press. That would be really cool. You know, then I would be like a real cook. But at the same time, you know, things cost money. And now that I'm buying my trips to a lot of trips, basically, that cost a lot of money, because who in their right mind decides to go to Edinburgh, you know, instead of going to London? I don't know. I'm not like, I've always wanted to go to Scotland. Actually, when I was small, I wanted to go to Ireland because I really love Irish music, but I really love Scottish music as well. And I really love Outlanders, so obviously, you know, you can't be a true Outlander fan if you've never been to Scotland. I'm joking. So I really love Outlander. Probably the only heterosexual fandom I will ever be part of. Let's just say that. Oh, the water's starting to boil. Great. Okay. I like thinking of like, I'm like doing a little dissection, you know? I wasn't very good at dissections either in medical school. I did become a tutor for anatomy, where I basically taught students anatomy, and most of my time was just like telling people like it doesn't matter if you can't remember the stuff by heart. But you know, medical students are so perfectionistic, and they really want to do their best, so they really want to learn everything by heart. And I'm like, you know, who cares? You can look it up in a book. Like, oh my. So obviously I wasn't like the best tutor who could teach everyone everything. I was a little bit too lax for that. But at the same time, I was also too awkward and too serious, so people did not, I think that people liked, we basically had like a dissection table, where I had table E, I remember that, and yeah, I had a great time. That is until my grandma died. Like, what happened is that I found out that my grandma died when I left the anatomy room, because you weren't allowed to have phones with you in the anatomy room. So I opened my email right when I left. This was a few years ago. I mean, I think that this must have been 2016, something like that. 2015, 2016, something like that. And I found out from my grandfather that she had died in her sleep, and that she had never been so beautiful. That was sweet. It's rare that my grandfather is so tender. But he did really love my grandma. They were two really strange people who met, you know, who had a whole host of issues, both of them. But I'm glad that they found each other, because I think that both of them were pretty neglected as children. They were children of rich people, you know, like they basically were so rich. At that time, people who were rich, they hired nannies and never saw their parents, you know. So they were rich because, like, my grandmother's dad was a lawyer, but somehow my grandmother's dad lost his license in probably some kind of corruption, something. So he did not like die in like a good man, you know. He was probably a pretty lousy father and a pretty lousy man in general, but he did have a lot of money, and he had my grandma, who was an only child, and yeah, she had a pretty lonely existence, even though she was, like, you know, basking in a lot of wealth. You know, they had a lot of money. I think my grandma had a pretty sad childhood. I'm trying to find the cutting boards, not the cutting boards. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to find how to the thingy to deal with this. Oh, okay. Here we are. This is the grating thing. So anyway, my grandmother was a pretty rich and spoiled kid, I guess, but you know, she was pretty lonely, and she had all these expectations placed on her by her dad. You know, like she was too tall. You know, she was tall for the time. I think that she was like 1.78 meters or something, almost 1.80 meters for a woman that was pretty tall. But this was in Sweden, you know, like Swedish women are tall. She, you know, didn't dance correctly, and her legs were too fat, and there were all sorts of things that she was told by her dad, which seems pretty bad. So I never got along with my grandma, because my grandma kept wanting us to be like a perfect family who dress correctly and do all the correct things, because she never had that as a kid. Like, she had all the correctness without the love, and she wanted us to all be a loving yet nice family, like that looked apart, you know. And my grandfather wasn't that much better, you know. He was basically doing his own thing most of the time, and I don't know what type he is. I don't know what my grandmother's type is either. I think that my grandmother's type was probably like an ESTJ or something like that. Well, my grandfather was probably a 9FP or a 9TP, but he was very much an introvert and very much an intuitive type and not practical at all. So he would basically just like, he was also pretty alone during his childhood, even though he had two sisters who were much older than him. And yeah, so both of them were pretty traumatized in their lives, and then they found each other. And they're not, like, they're some of the most unhealthy people I know, but together they did find some kind of happiness, and I am glad for them for that. But my grandfather is not somebody that I can really get along with, unfortunately. And that's regardless of his personality type, you know. I think it's just his way of living was so different from the way I'm living now. I mean, he was pretty spoiled as a kid, even though he was lonely. And he has a certain ways of doing things. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to seeing him. But I did decide that, okay, I'm not going to just ignore him. I'm going to go and actually see him. And people who have good relationships with their grandparents don't really understand this, you know. They're like, how can you say that you don't enjoy being around your grandparents, you know? And it's like, there's some people who can't enjoy being around their own parents, you know. And I'm like, I'm glad I can deal with my parents. Like, I'm happy for that. I don't need to have a good relationship with my grandparents because they're not involved in my life. Okay. And I know that they're immensely involved in other people's lives, but this is my life. Okay. So this is the onion and the carrot and that, and oh, we need to cut the pak choi, but I have no space on this. Okay, and now I need to cook the noodles. Let's cook the noodles first. Because now the water is boiling. And then it says to cook it for 4 to 6 minutes until they are soft. Now, I've never seen that they have it in like little bunches. So let's take the paper off these. Okay, there. Okay, sorry for rambling about my grandparents. I mean, but I do find that I need to go to that, but maybe in the future I'll just skip on the... It says use half a packet. Okay, well, I'll use half the package, and then what do I do with the rest of the package? I guess that this is for another day. Yeah, I guess that this is for another day. I do love udon noodles, but okay. Okay, so they say to keep on going with cutting this. So anyway, I am looking forward to meeting my parents, even though, you know, my idea at first was going to Japan and to not meet my parents at all. But plans don't always go the way that we want to. Okay. The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. Isn't that what Robert Burns said? Robert Burns is Scottish. Yay! You know a Scottish author, Ingrid. I don't know any other Scottish author. I can't really... I don't know much about Scottish culture, I realize. Like, all I know is from me loving Celtic music growing up. There's always a debate about if you should say Celtic or if you should say Celtic. I say Celtic because, well, you know, I guess that it depends on the language. Maybe it's Celtic that I'm supposed to say, but I don't want to say it wrong. So if there's anybody who's from Scotland or from some other Celtic or Celtic country, please tell me how you're supposed to pronounce it. I don't want to say it wrong. But yeah, so I know most of that through basically the lore, the Outlander lore, which you know, is maybe not the best, but I don't care. I don't care at this point. Okay, I'll cut these things up better later, but these should be going on a little bit more. We need to stuff these in with maybe a fork. Maybe a fork can do it. Good. Okay. There we are. And then once the noodles are done, we're going to put a scoop of noodle water in a cup and leave it to the side. And then we're going to take away the rest and put some cold water on it. Then the next stage is to like fry the, not fry, basically put everything into a pan. But for that I'll have to move the camera, so 2 seconds. Okay, sorry guys, I mixed up the pak choi with the onions, but things are going okay. I just need to cut the carrots into smaller pieces so that I can put it. I put the spring onion and the onion into the pan with some olive oil, and it's cooking on a lowish heat, let's just say. There we go. Here we're just putting the little pieces of carrot. The noodles should be finished soon. It's going way too fast for my liking, but I mean, we have already been going for a half hour or something, so things should be starting to speed up a little bit. Okay. I should have done all the carrots beforehand, but let's like, you have no space on here. Okay, and why have I been talking about my grandparents is also because, well, the only person who cooked in my family was my grandmother. And yeah, of course it's because she had to learn to cook in her time, because who else was going to be cooking food for her family, you know? At that time, my grandfather never learned how to cook, so he doesn't really know. He's pretty clueless in the kitchen. The gender roles have really been followed in my family, and yeah, except for, well, my mom and me, we are not great at cooking. My mom was forced kind of into the cooking because my dad does not do a shit. Which I guess is the case in a lot of families. But, you know, still kind of sad that the patriarchy has such tight control over us, that we think that this is like normal. You know, even though a lot of men are like, yeah, super proud of doing all this stuff in the kitchen, they would get, a woman doing that would get much less praise than them, unfortunately. Okay, let's see. Maybe I should just check up that these things aren't getting burnt on the bottom. That would be sad. Okay, we still have like half the carrots left, so just keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Right. A lot of patients have been extra demanding at work because they're like on such a, like they have to be magically fixed before their holiday. And I'm like, you know, I would also like to be going on holiday, and I can't make the process of medicine go faster for you just because you're going to go on a holiday. And also, like, people have no respect for my time. And I told my supervisor about it because she was like, she noticed that I was being a little bit frustrated. And yeah, she said that there are lots of patients who are just like, they come to healthcare and they think that it's just like getting an order, you know, like they just go and they ask for certain things and they just want what they want and they don't care about like how much we're trying to help. Swedish medicine is pretty restrictive in that, you know, we have to follow rules and such. I mean, I just watched a video essay about in the US you can just buy ketamine. Like, you can just get yourself a prescription of ketamine from any doctor and you can just get it in the mail. Like, that would never happen in Sweden, you know. And Sweden doesn't, marijuana is not, is illegal still in Sweden, also in France, but yeah, so there are patients who want me to prescribe cannabis basically to them, but I can't, I don't have that power to go against the law, and then they get frustrated at me for not bending the law for them. It's like, yeah, I mean, maybe this would have been a great treatment option, but I'm not going to go against the law for your sake, you know. Also, I can't. There's no way for me to provide any cannabis, so, you know. Anyway, we put all that inside. Now, the noodles should be done, so what we're going to do is that we're going to scoop up, or no, we're going to put, how much do they want of this cooking water? 1 deciliter in a cup. Let's put it in a bowl instead. I don't know which bowl, but here's a bowl. Let's put some of that. Okay, let's stop the cooking. Let's add some water into this bowl. Okay, good. So there we've got some water into the bowl. And then the rest we take away. I also need some new colander, because this isn't good. Okay, where's the heat pad? Where's the heat pad? Okay, there. So that's going on. And then I have this water, which I don't know what it's going to be used for, but let's see. We've got all of that going on. And then we're going to finally deal with the meat, which I've kept in the fridge now for a good day or so. We need to make a little hole in it. A little hole. Ugh. So, as I've told you guys before, in Sweden, a lot of meat comes in, or things, in general, things come in little tubes, which is gross. I understand that it's like easy packaging for companies, and I guess that it's easy to like just roll up these little things into like a little sausage, but okay. Then it says put it into the pan 4 or 5 minutes until brown. Okay. Oops. We need to put this into smaller pieces, right? Okay, that wasn't all of it. There we go. That was that. Now, I mean, I had it on middle heat, and yet it's still like making a lot of noise. Stop! Stop smoking! Stop smoking! Okay. This is completely disrupting my flow. Stop! I was having it so calm and nice, and now it's making so much noise that I honestly need to turn down the heat to 0 just to like have some peace and quiet here. It's like stress. Stop stressing me out. just put it on the lowest heat setting and just keep moving it around a little bit. And then they say put some pepper on it. So that's all we're going to do. Pepper. Oh, well, actually, this pepper is not great. I have 2 peppers for some reason. After my move, it's just that this pepper is kind of a lot. It comes out at the same time, so I have to be extremely careful about that. Okay. There we go. Okay. Things are happening here. Okay. There we go. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, this always happens when I put pepper on things. And the ginger, yeah. Okay, we're going to just let it keep going in here. Because things are happening inside the pan. There's a lot of stuff to go on. We need to do this in 4 or 5 minutes, and then we're going to put the pak choi with the garlic and the ginger. So yeah. Okay, so I found that this angle is actually pretty cool. So we're going to keep this angle, as long as the phone doesn't like fall into the, but that's not going to happen. It's not going to fall into the heat and then like burn and cause a fire. That would be sad, but we're not there. We're not there yet. Okay, let's keep that. Okay, and then we've got to do add noodles and add yeah. There's a lot to deal with. There's a lot of stuff to put in there. I did miss the udon noodles. They make me happy. I'm going to eat one of them now. Yeah, I love udon noodles. Okay. I should have made the whole pot, but they don't have space in my pan. Okay. I know that people who watch my kitchen videos are the ones who like my long, slow content. So I'm not doing as many cuts as I try to do with my videos, because I know that some people don't like that. I watch a lot of long form content where I watch body doubling by autistic creators like Dana Anderson, and I watch Haley Honeyman, I think is her name. Anyway, there we go. Okay, that is going to keep cooking. While this is cooking, we're going to just think of our next step. I'm going to pause the video 2 seconds. Okay, I'm doing some dishes while I'm waiting. I don't know what I was saying. Oh, it's à la carotte fontaine en allant promener. J'ai trouvé l'eau si belle que je m'y suis baignée. La montagne que je t'aime, jamais je ne t'oublierai. Okay. La clairefontaine en harmonie. Oh, I ate a piece of ginger from my finger. That was strong. Okay. J'ai trouvé le si belle que je me suis baignée. Il y a longtemps que je t'aime, jamais je ne t'oublierai. Okay, it's probably not good for the meat to have been bleeding like this, but I have eaten meat that has been like this when I was cooking it, and it has been fine so far. So if I get food poisoning, then I don't know, I guess it's because of this. Il y a longtemps que je t'aime, jamais je ne t'oublierai. What I'm singing is like a French children's song. Or not children's song, but it was like a medieval song, a folk song, I guess. But what I like is that it kind of reminds me of the Studio Ghibli song. Is this Mononoke? Ashitaka's Journey or something. Okay, I think that it's time for us to put all of these things into this. The pak choi is destroyed and fallen to the ground. Okay. Where have all of my fallen soldiers fallen? Oh no. Oof, the heat is terrible. Okay. I do like to imagine like, oh, I'm in a Studio Ghibli film and like I am preparing food for my little Ghibli family. And, you know, everything is so appetizing and great in that world. It's amazing, like, you know, it's like in Totoro, it's like a 12-year-old taking care of her like 5-year-old, or not even 12-year-old, she's maybe like 8, taking care of her like 5-year-old sister, and like cooking everything for her and doing everything. It's like, I don't know, I was so spoiled, I guess, that it never occurred to me to cook food as a child. Like, I did not think of that really, but it does give me the help nowadays, you know. Okay, so they say to just like put the pak choi in there, make it last for 4 or 5 minutes in there, and then we're going to add all the extra like things, which are like the soy sauce, the chili, the sesame, yeah, soy sauce, sesame. Well, they say to keep some of the sesame for like just to as decoration for the final dish. It doesn't say when I'm supposed to put the noodles in. Right. Okay, it's at next stage where we put it in. I don't know if I'll have space for everything, but yeah, let's put it in. Oh no, it's already. But I understand that that's why we kept some of that water for later. And that's why we did not cook all of the noodles at the same time. Because otherwise we wouldn't have enough space in this pan. Which, okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, wow, the noodles are really, have stuck together. Like, this is impossible. Impossible to make out. Let's take away some of these noodles. Unfortunately, it's not possible. Oh God. Okay, well, I guess that it's supposed to get better with the amount of sauces and things that we put on, because now we're going to put the soy sauce in. Okay. I like soy sauce. Yum, 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 yum. God, this is difficult to mix. Well, we're doing our best. And that's why sometimes I like pretending that I'm in the Ghibli movie. It's like nothing is as it seems when I do this in real life. And as I said, I am a pretty clumsy person, so like this stuff does not, I can't pour things right. I remember when I was doing chemistry in high school, and I sat next to this guy who ended up being gay, actually, which was really strange for me in high school because I didn't even know, like, I was pretty sheltered and I didn't know what a gay person was, pretty much. Well, I did know, but I did not know any gay people. And he was the first person who was out. But he was really, really good at chemistry, I guess. Basically, like, I was the brains and he was the executor. But oftentimes I wasn't even good enough to be the brains, you know. So he would be pouring these things into different tubes and things, and he was so precise, you know, like I couldn't do that, you know, like. And then chemistry you have to be very precise because like a single drop wrong will like destroy the whole thing. So I'm really glad that he was my lab partner, because he was a real asset. Because he could do all of that pouring stuff, which I just couldn't do. I wanted to, but I couldn't do it right. So yeah, I kind of... It was interesting because he was Jewish from Israel, and but you know, I know that nowadays he is pro-Palestine and such, even though he is originally from Israel. He, in philosophy class, our teacher was like the worst. I did not like philosophy. He was so boring and, you know, so out of touch with like what was going on in the classroom. So everybody was like doing their math homework in philosophy class. In France, it used to be that you would have philosophy class only in the last year of school. You would take your French baccalaureate the year before your last year, and then you would not need to take French the last year. Instead, you would take philosophy, because that means like you're good enough at French basically to get to philosophy. I would have loved to love philosophy, but unfortunately my teacher was like so terrible. Like he was so bad at the pedagogy of teaching, you know. So instead, we would have our own philosophical discussions. And I think that we learned quite a lot more from each other than we learned from our teacher. I did not learn a single thing. It is a miracle I even managed to pass my baccalaureate in that subject. Like, it was... Okay, we're putting honey in. But this honey is kind of thick, so... And there we go. I have to squeeze it really tight here through this tiny hole. I kind of want to eat this honey though, just like on its own. We'll see how this goes if I manage to squeeze out the whole thing. Anyway, so we would have discussions with this classmate, and we had another girl in my class who was Pakistani, and another girl in my class who was from Iraq. And I was sitting there on that row, and then you know, I was kind of like trying to not seem like I'm too American because they are, you know, it's hard to contribute anything that is positive if you're an American, considering these world war issues. But they were... Okay, it's time to put the water from the pasta. Okay, good. Yeah, and so they would talk about like political issues. I thought that was great, and so I learned much more about the state of the world through them. Now, and one of them was like, she didn't believe in evolution because she, well, was Muslim, but she, like, it wasn't creationism, but it was kind of like this theory that God created all of the animals as is, but then evolution happened later. I was like, well, this doesn't make sense. You know, like, if evolution is happening right now, then why didn't it happen like that in the past, you know? So I was a little bit confused, but it was fine. It was interesting to hear these different views, because unfortunately, like in school, we weren't taught like these different... In France, you weren't taught about religion because it was supposed to be secular. And also, you weren't taught that much about the state of the world, I guess. I mean, we learned French history and that kind of thing, but it was still very much traditional thinking. And so I remember that he was one of the nicest guys in my class, and even in my school. He was so sweet, and I did kind of take advantage of his chemistry skills, I guess, but I mean, our experiments would have been a disaster had I been the one pouring the different things in the different tubes. So I hope the best for him. I don't know where he lives now. I think he learned Spanish and then he went to Spain. I think maybe he's living in the Netherlands now. Haven't had contact with him because we were never really friends. We were just like classmates that... we were in the English section. Like, we had the sections in my school, and so we had extra English. And like, you know, we took the GCSEs and, well, British. we took the GCSEs and all that kind of stuff. And we took something called the international option of the baccalaureate, called OIB, which confuses everybody because they think that it's the IB. It's not the same. IB is the international baccalaureate, which is not like a French baccalaureate at all. The OIB is basically a version of it's Option Internationale du Baccalauréat. So it's a French baccalaureate, but with a international option. And so I did with English, and it was really high level. Like, you know, we had a lot of stuff to do for our OIB. And I know that like there was the German people in my school, they would do like the Abitur and there was another one. And so they would have different versions of end grades. But for us, the OIB was really good because it granted us to show that like we'd had a French education. We hadn't suffered for nothing, you know? Because otherwise it does feel like I've suffered for nothing. All of this like suffering, and I didn't even know about the state of Israel and Palestine, and I didn't even know about you know, different religions. Like, what was my education consisting of? I have no idea. Anyway, now we've done all of this, we're going to put some salt, some pepper, and some chili. So salt, pepper, okay, and some chili. And I think that we will be done soon, probably. I don't know. Well, I mean, wow, I've been going for an hour, but that's how long these things take, you know? Okay, not too much chili though, because I can get... I have to make sure to like mix it very well, because this chili thing can be... These chili flakes are not that strong though. I've tested them in the past and it's been fine. It's mostly like, you know, the actual chili bean that can be destructive, you know. So there's that. Okay, good. And then I think that we are done here. Then it says to wait, the spring onion. I wasn't supposed to put the spring onion inside? Okay, well, no, it says to put the onion there, so I have done it, but apparently you were supposed to decorate with that as well. Anyway, it still works. This is how it was supposed to look like, and this is what it looks like. Looks pretty appetizing, actually. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.